With legal updates and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Talking about possibly returning to WWE with her sister Nikki, Brie Bella told Foothills Focus, "I'm grappling grapes while Nikki is grappling some girls this year. You never know, I might join her. I have a few tricks up my sleeve. For the first time, I'm so content in my life. I'm exactly where I wanted to be." Asked about former TNA star Josh Alexander joining AEW, Sean Ross Sapp said this during a Fightful Select Q&A. "The last I heard was that he was headed to All Elite Wrestling. When I asked about his status, one source claimed he was likely working on getting his visa squared away, which is why he's been able to appear on Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling as well." Staying on the topic of stars potentially joining AEW, Sean Ross Sapp said this about former WWE name INDI Hartwell joining AEW, as she recently had a match against AEW star Mercedes Moné at a House of Glory event. "I've not heard of anything, but that doesn't mean they don't have interest. I'm not sure of her visa situation, but the word was that she and many people, even connected to HOG, didn't know that match was going to be the match until a couple days before." Touching on his health after suffering a stroke 2 years ago, Jerry Lawler told Bill Apter, "I feel great, I feel good, except my knees are a little bit under the weather. I had my right knee replaced about 6 or 7 months ago, and they said it takes about a year to get back to normal. My left knee needs to be replaced too, but I'm going to wait a while on that one." Well, that's something that's here constantly every day. I've just about gotten over, but I haven't really, because the effects of the stroke are always there. My whole right side of my body is damaged, and I can't really write too well. I can't draw worth a darn, but I can still sign an autograph, thank goodness. Other than that, I feel fine. Providing an update on Kamille's status with AEW, president of the promotion Tony Khan said this on the Battleground podcast. "We don't know who attacked Kamille, and the last time we saw her, she was attacked. We know she had a breakup with Mercedes Moné in their business relationship. Mercedes is flourishing since then. She's done really well on her own. But Kamille, we haven't seen her since she was attacked, and we're not sure what that was and what that was about. I do think that's an interesting thought for sure, and it's something to keep an eye on, but that would be a great matchup. When Kamille does return to get payback for that attack, it'll be interesting to see who she goes after and what that was." During a show for AAA, former WWE star Alberto Del Rio would be involved in an incident that led to his suspension, as Rob Viper noted that the Tijuana Commission, headed by Damien 666, suspended Alberto Del Rio for 180 days for his role in an incident on Friday at the Auditorio. AAA has 2 TV tapings coming up in Baja California, but those are in Ensenada and Rosarito, so I don't think it affects those. I haven't seen the full match, but in the clip going around, Alberto appears heated at someone in the crowd post-match. He tries to hop the guardrail, but isn't able, so he circles to a place he can get over. He then throws a chair at someone off camera as security intervenes. Another fan seeing this then throws a chair, hitting Alberto in the head, which starts a slight melee with people throwing things. One story going around is an old lady got hit by a flying chair at some point and ended up in hospital. Asked how Time Warner reacted to Booker T calling Hulk Hogan the N-word at WCW Spring Stampede, former WCW president Eric Bischoff said this on his 83 Weeks podcast. Back then, I didn't hear a word from Time Warner. I didn't hear a word from the audience. There may have been some people who wrote in and some who were offended. Believe me, I'm sensitive to that, even to this day. I'm not suggesting that people weren't. I'm just telling you it wasn't even a blip on the radar. It would be today. People's hair would catch fire, and depending on your point of view, rightfully so. It was a different time, and that's a perfect example of that. During his match against Austin Theory on Raw, Jey Uso would botch a spear as well as a dive to the outside. He also beat Theory in just over a minute, and all this had fans upset online. The video WWE uploaded to YouTube of this match has over 65,000 dislikes and only 14,000 likes. Jey seemingly responded to the Backlash online, posting a photo of himself with the caption, "Crash out Jey, Lord help me." When it comes to the original plan for the match, WrestleVotes noted that this match was spaced out for 11 minutes last night. I don't know if Cena drawing out the opening of the show affected it. I know it affected other things on the show, save for this match, but I can tell you that it was spaced out for 11 minutes. Providing a legal update on a pro wrestler, Ringside News wrote that former NXT star Kimber Lee has officially closed the book on her legal case, but it comes with some serious consequences. After multiple delays in her pre-trial hearings, Lee was found guilty on February 5th by the Highlands County Court in Florida on charges of DUI, resisting an officer with violence, and battery on a law enforcement officer. Lee entered a nolo contendere plea, meaning she accepted the conviction without admitting guilt. While she was sentenced to 2 years in state prison for the more severe charges, that sentence is suspended as long as she follows strict probation conditions. Instead, Lee will serve 1 year of probation for her DUI and 2 years for the other charges, running concurrently. Her conditions include 75 hours of community service, mandatory substance abuse treatment and DUI classes, regular drug testing, ankle monitor requirement, 10-day vehicle impoundment, driver's license suspension for 6 months, and restricted travel outside her local county without approval. The charges stem from a May 11th, 2023 arrest where police found Lee driving the wrong way, nearly crashing into a guardrail before a frantic police encounter. Reports indicate she was heavily intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of 0.14, nearly double Florida's legal limit of 0.08. The situation escalated when she physically resisted arrest, allegedly striking an officer in the chest and later injuring him during a struggle. Initially facing up to 5 years in prison for resisting an officer and battery, Lee avoided time behind bars but must now adhere to strict probation rules or risk serving her full sentence. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.